If I can help, I will, but don't take too much time.
Morrowind could be a pretty unforgiving game. On my first playthrough, it took me hours just to find the Dwemer puzzle box, and that's like one of the first quests of the game, you know? It took me forever looking around that place, and the thing about that quest is that the box is just at the beginning. It's literally at the beginning of the level. It just kind of wastes your time, you know? It's right there. It's kind of a trick. It's no surprise that new players are intimidated by Morrowind when they first start playing, and to be honest, I don't blame them. It can be really unforgiving and difficult at times. It can be really difficult to figure out, and Morrowind's expansion packs in particular can be pretty brutal. The DLC itself is only recommended for players above level 20. To be honest, that doesn't stop most players from trying Tribunal and Blood Moon at like level 2. It didn't stop me, and most new players quickly learn that these areas aren't for new players at all. Even with my level 20 characters with good armor and good weapons, I still struggle a whole lot because it's just that unforgiving. Which, by the way, speaking of, I've started a Morrowind series of attempting Tribunal at level 1. Maybe you should check that out. You might like it. You might have a cup of tea one day and sit down and give it a watch. I think it's good. Quick plug. Anyway, moving on. So this video is going to cover an encounter I had in the Tribunal expansion, and this expansion pack was the first to be released for Morrowind, and it takes place in the city of Mournhold. So we're leaving the island of Vardenfell and straight onto the mainland of Morrowind. It's this whole new city with quests, armor, and even some new NPCs to meet, which is always a good thing. And some of those NPCs might be the topic of the video, you never know. And it's this city in particular where you meet one of the toughest enemies of the entire game. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, seriously. And who is this tough enemy? You might be asking. Yeah, it's this little wood elf right here. Yeah, you might be thinking, this little fella, he's the toughest in the game. He doesn't even have armor or weapons or nothing. What kind of damage can he do? He doesn't seem that intimidating, but just you wait. I mean, he does look pretty unassuming, to be fair. I definitely underestimated him my first time playing this game. I also can't say the word underestimate, so that's something. His name is Gaenor, or Gaenor. I'm just gonna say Gaenor because with Morrowind all the names are so weird, you never know how to pronounce them. Like Seedanine, Aldru, I don't know how to pronounce these places. So you'll first encounter him in front of the temple in Tribunal. He's gonna ask you for a bit of gold. That doesn't seem too bad, right? He just wants a few septims. He's almost like the beggars from Oblivion, but a little more endearing. So I figured I'd help him out, give him a few septims. So he appreciates our kindness, but then he asks for even more money, which is, you know, a bit much. I just gave him like 50 gold or something. Here's the thing. No matter how much money you give him, he's going to ask for more. First it's like 50, then it's 100, then it's 1,000, then it's like 10,000. He'll then ask for 1,000,000 gold, and even if you say you have 1,000,000 gold, he'll think you're lying, and he'll get a bit aggressive. To be fair, if you have 1,000,000 gold, I wouldn't be giving it to this wood elf fella. Even if you try to give him 1,000,000 gold, let's say you had it in your inventory, he still won't believe you, and he'll start to attack you. He starts to get aggressive, the little fella, and it's this point that the wood elf will swear his revenge on you one day. Which at the time does seem like a bit of an empty threat. I mean, he's gonna kill me, okay. So the average player would usually just go about their business until passing by the same area a few days later, and Gaenor will be here, and he's wearing full ebony armor. That's not great. And he can't be avoided, which means if he sees you, he'll immediately follow you. He's decked out in a full set of ebony armor. And he has an ebony longsword, because of course he does. And after his dialogue, he'll just attack you directly. You can't avoid it. The thing is that he's impossible to hit. He has a powerful luck enchantment on him. Even if you get one hit in, it's not going to do that much damage. Like, at all. You might be thinking, how are you supposed to do this? I was using a Daedric katana and some decent armor, and he was still only taking me down in a couple of hits. Like with a Daedric sword, you'd think that'd do well, but nope, it was barely chipping away at his health. This wood elf must have taken me down about 3 times altogether. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's at this point where I start to get just a bit frustrated, just that little bit. I mean, he only took me down like 3 times in a row. I had to go down the route of picking up a bit of Sujamma. And if you don't know, Sujamma is this alcohol that buffs your strength by like 50 points each, and you can just take as many as you want. So what I did is I went to this little shop in Saedric Mora, which is called like Farah's Hole in the Wall or something, and inside you can just buy infinite Sujamma. Like, seriously. You can buy a stack of Sujamma, exit out, go back in, and she'll have more. You can just buy as much Sujamma as you want. You can just buy as much Sujamma as you want. Try to say that sentence 10 times. I've been sitting here for like half an hour. So I took about 40 bottles of Sujamma for good measure. Surely that's enough, right? So then after I got all my alcohol on the mainland, I immediately went back to Mournhold to visit our wood elf friend. We're gonna take him down this time. So yeah, once I got there, I immediately started taking huge amounts of alcohol. And it just buffs our strength by so much, like unbelievable amounts. My carry weight was like 10,000 at the end of it. But even with all these buffs, Gaenor was still hard to hit. But eventually, once you get a hit in, that's it. He's down. It's over. The Sujana might have been cheating, but look, I think it's the only way to take this fella down. I mean, I have to resort to cheating every time I see him. I was trying to take him down legit with like health potions and everything, but like he just takes you down so quickly and you can barely chip away at his health, you know? But once he's down, that's it. His ebony armor is also pretty good. You can take that. That's yours now. You can take his ebony longsword. Not a bad outcome. And yeah. So that ends the story of Gaenor, one of the hardest NPCs in the game. I mean seriously, players underestimate him so much. He just looks like this little passive wood elf and he's like the hardest person in the game. It's ridiculous. So lads, that's the end of the story. This was a different sort of video, so if you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe and I'll talk to you in the next one. Cheers.